Now, face the mighty bison.
Knee is one of the best Tekken players on the planet, and it's been that way since the early days of Tekken. You could go as far back as you want, and it's rare where you see Knee not dominating in tournaments. One of the most respected players out there, one of the biggest followings out there. Bro has like Samsung commercials and all type of stuff. He's a different breed. So when he speaks on Tekken, it's kind of different from like the average player speaking about Tekken. He's not just rambling about anything and everything. His critiques is very like particular. It's like very specific. You know, like you could click on anyone's Twitter and you'll see them complaining about Jin, Dragunov, this, that, everything. But Nee is very reserved. So when he does speak up about something, it really emphasizes how that is a real problem. But there's a lot of different ideas that players have about why rank is bad and how it can be better. This is where Nee comes into place. On December 17th, when Clive was released, he says whether there's complaints about Clive or not, Tekken 8 Steam users has gone up and interest has increased. Now, every single time I look at Steam, it is hovering at a consistent 6 to 8,000. Depending on the time of day, it's either 6,000 or 8,000, and it just goes back and forth. And it really has not fallen for a very long time. So to me, that shows that even though players are upset with the game, it's maintaining its current number of users. Something that people also highlight as well is that the consistency in players in terms of Steam numbers is higher than it was on Tekken 7. Tekken 7 was in the 5,000, 4,000 range. So Tekken 8 is statistically a bigger game for that reason, which is why the developers probably considered it a success. Now, Street Fighter is different. Street Fighter be having like 30,000 people playing the game. And, you know, when you look at where those people are coming from, that game has a huge following in Asia. We could go back to Evo Japan. There's going to be another one so we could test this theory once more. But at Evo Japan, they broke records. They had 6,000 people show up for Street Fighter 6. And then when they had the Evo Vegas, their number dipped down to like 2,000. So you can see how bigger of an audience they have over there in Asia. And that kind of speaks to why Harada wants to tap into that market once more. And he's so desperate to do that because we see what he's doing for Street Fighter. But when we look at the second tweet from Nee, he says, I hope the rank match will be improved in Season 2. I don't think it's good right now. The number of users has decreased a lot. I would be interested to hearing what ideas Nee would have to improve the rank system. When you look around the player base, you would see a couple of great ideas thrown out, like an elo system being added to the top ranks. You could also talk about the removal of Tekken Prowess, even though I said it's a highly misunderstood feature to Tekken 8. It's a lot of people still view it as a problem, and you could try to do something differently to satisfy players' complaints there. Some players also feel that adding more ranks to the system as a whole would be a benefit. Now, I don't know how true that is, I can't really say. But what I will say is a problem is the fact that they give everyone a free pass all the way up until warrior rank. Now, I get why they did it because they want the players to feel like they're progressing, they're learning, they're getting better. But one, it's not true. It's like a fake like progression. Eventually those players will get hit with a brick wall and they will struggle. But then also what that does in terms of just the general rank structure is that it elevated and I guess you could say inflated everyone's rank. In past games, red ranks was the most populated rank, and now that has been pushed to blue ranks. But then at the top side of it, when you talk about the top ranks, you have the God of Destruction players reaching 1,000,000 points. Like when you reach 500,000, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when you get God of Destruction. But it doesn't stop there. You're not capped. You're allowed to then continue going all the way up until 1,000,000. Now, some people were doing that at the start of the game kind of as a flex, but as more people achieve that 1,000,000 point maximum, you start to hear this idea of ranks being irrelevant at that point. With this tweet from Nee, calling out the rank system of Tekken, I think the developers should take a look at it and try to figure out how they can improve ranked for players of all skill. Because the problems that's facing blue ranks, red ranks, orange ranks, it's not the same. All of these different ranks, all of these different skills of players have very specific problems, and it will be a lot to tackle all of it. But this is the thing when you overhaul your rank system to such a degree, and then one, you don't explain all of these changes, but then two, you allow characters to be busted. Three, agree the system is kind of crazy with the way that they distribute points. It's no surprise that the rank system needs some kind of overhaul in season 2. And once again, you talk about season 2 just getting free W's. This is an easy one to do. Overhauling their rank will make players want to return to experience the new changes that the game has delivered.